Yeah, we have one more small order of business tonight, and that's to honor the Carroll H. Award of Excellence recipient, the 2014 recipient. First, I'd like Rex and Anna to join me up here on the stage, if you would, please. Thanks. So for those of you who don't know, Carroll H. Dunn was the project director of the CII Construction Industry Cost Effectiveness Project that was sponsored by the Business Roundtable. It concluded in 1983, and it really led to the creation of CII. General Dunn had a highly decorated career in the U.S. Corps of Engineers and in private industry. He was a member of the National Academy of Engineering as well as the National Academy of Construction prior to his passing. We established the Carroll H. Dunn Award of Excellence in 1985 to honor an individual with significant achievements in improving capital projects. The award is our highest honor and is recognized as one of the most prestigious awards of its kind in the industry. The criteria are significant contributions to the industry, demonstration of the highest degree of personal dedication to improving safety, cost, schedule, quality of the capital delivery process, a level of knowledge and breadth of experience that distinguish the recipient as an eminent authority, a leadership in the industry from which others can be influenced by example and direction, a record of accomplishment that brings added distinction to the recipient, the organizations with which he or she has been associated, and to the industry at large. So past award winners include Charlie Brown and Bob Miller of DuPont, who were seminal in our you've heard Bob Miller's name mentioned a couple times by John, and last year by JJ. Ted Kennedy of BE&K, Lou Garbrick of Texaco, Jim Browse and Clark Oglesby. Gary Jones, who stood up here as chairman or as the Dunn Award winner and challenged everybody to implement CII best practices. So I don't want to name all of these. Of course, we see Richard, we see Dan Bennett, Ed Merrow, Don Gunther from Bechtel, H.B. Zachary, Joe Jacobs, Alan Beckman, Jim Porter, Art Fox. I guess I will name them all, won't I? Dan, it's a shame. I mean, I really think I have to. Dan Halpin from Purdue, Ralph Peterson from CH2M Hill, Dave Nash, who's with us tonight, joined us tonight over here from B&K. Should probably say Admiral Nash, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Charlie Thornton, you all may not know Charlie, but you hear about the ACE Mentor Program every year, and his book is out here. Charlie Thornton and Elegant Solutions. What an outstanding individual. Jimmy Slaughter. I don't know anybody more committed to safety in this industry than Jimmy and his company, S&B. Stephen Ayers, architect of the Capitol. You know him, yeah. Bud Ahern, CH2M Hill, and Dr. J.J. Suarez. And it's at this time I'd like to bring Dr. J.J. Suarez to the podium to introduce the 2014 recipient of the Carroll H. Dunn Award of Excellence.
Good evening. You know, somebody told me, or Wayne told me before, just give you a few minutes to say a few words, and then introduce the 2014 Carroll Dunn Award winner. So I said, okay, I'll say a few words. Jim Sexton, coming down the elevator, said, you know, a good speech is one where it's short, sweet, and not about yourself. So it's a great honor for me to have been presented the 2013 Carroll Dunn Award. Thanks to the executive committee and all of you for that. And that's the end of my speech. The main reason I'm here is really to say that it's a great privilege for me to introduce the 2014 award recipient, my friend Jan Tuchman. Yeah, those of you who've known Jan over the years, like I have, know that inside that petite frame resides a giant in our industry. I like just to spend a few minutes to highlight Jan's accomplishments, both in her private as well as professional career. I know I can't do it all justice. There's going to be a booklet handed out with more detailed description of her accomplishments, and I'm sure you'll read that and find it really interesting and realize she's totally a great addition to this very unique group of individuals that have made contributions above and beyond the call of duty to our industry. To start with, just early on, Jan is the daughter of an architect. She actually spent a lot of time on the field, construction sites, as well as in the office, working with her father, and in her spare time, reading about our industry in the publications like the Architectural Record and the Engineering News Record, or ENR. Jan's passion for writing was developed at a very early stage. When she was assigned to the 7th grade class that produced the newsletter or the paper for the middle school, she at that time realized that journalism was in her blood. Upon graduating from high school in '68, she attended the University of Colorado at Boulder, majoring in journalism and minoring in architecture. At that time, she was discussing with the dean of the architectural school about her idea of becoming working on and developing or working for an architectural magazine. And the dean said, well, why don't you take these courses, and there are courses in design. And she did follow his recommendation. And in one of these classes, she was developing a project, a geodesic dome. She's laughing over there. I think she remembers that part. She became hooked on writing about engineering and architecture. And at that time, she really consolidated her thoughts about really making a career out of journalism rather than architecture. She finished her master's degree in 1975, began working with the ENR at that time. Her first assignment was working in the building department, looking at construction methods and structural systems, innovative systems. You probably met Charlie Thornton back then, didn't you? Yeah? Yes. In '77, her boss sent her to a field job at the Bethlehem Steel plant, and a trip that really transformed her life. On that trip, she bumped into and apparently stuck to another journalist, Joe Rasta, her future husband, which is right here accompanying her. In '83, Jan and Joe, in the midst of thriving journalism careers, welcomed their daughter, Celia. I understand we have a granddaughter called Cecilia, the same name. So that's a good coincidence. Jan's next assignment at ENR was as an associate editor, covering the energy and the environmental areas. And one of her key assignments at that time, and I'm sure it was both a fulfilling and a heart-wrenching experience, was to pen the ENR's on-the-scene coverage of the devastating Mexico earthquake. In the early 1990s, she became managing editor, and then in April of 2005, she was promoted to editor-in-chief of ENR. That job has literally taken her around the world, visiting projects and places and news-worthy situations in Paris, Saudi Arabia, Hong Kong, and Beijing. In spite of traveling all over the world, she said her worst traveling experience was last Friday trying to get from New York to Indianapolis, where she had to cancel 5 flights and delays and back and forth. And we're happy to have her here because she almost can't make it. As editor-in-chief of ENR, Jan's role is to keep pace with new developments in publishing, as well as maintaining the industry, the construction industry, vital and evergreen, with flow of news and data and technology. On the publishing side, Jan has helped manage ENR's conversion to desktop publishing, guided the launch of its website, also its tablet-based app, and it's working now on the mobile news app. To keep the industry informed, as you probably all know, Jan keeps the magazine focused on current market challenges and opportunities. Jan, in addition to her work in ENR, has made tremendous contribution to our industry through participation in industry organizations. For example, she's a member of the National Research Council Board on Infrastructure and Constructor Environment, the Industry Leaders Council on ASCE, the Industry Advisory Committee of the Department of Civil Engineering at Columbia University, just to name a few. For those contributions through ENR and the industry, Jan has earned numerous awards and honors. For example, the Award for Journalism from the Society of Military Engineers, the Beavers Service and Supply Award, the induction into the Construction Writers Association Hall of Fame, as well as the National Academy of Construction, and election through to the MOLS, as you know, is a prestigious heavy industry organization. Therefore, in appreciation of her or lifelong commitments and contributions to the health and growth of the global construction industry, CII takes the greatest pleasure in presenting Janice Lynn Tuchman with the 2014 Carroll H. Dunn Award. Congratulations.
I forgot to ask them to get me a little stool. But wow, what an evening. What a terrific day. Terrific evening. Yes, it was a little hard to get here, but really glad that I did. And I am truly, truly thrilled to accept the Carroll H. Dunn Award and to be with you all at CII tonight. Indianapolis is special to me because this is my first visit to ENR's Indianapolis Bureau. Deputy Editor Tudor Van Hampton moved to Indianapolis a few years ago and relocated our Midwest Bureau from Chicago. Tudor, you were up here, he was up here taking a picture a minute ago. Stand up, Tudor, and wave. Tudor Van Hampton. JJ was too kind with his introduction. There's one thing he didn't tell you. I'll tell you one more thing about the day Joe and I met at Bethlehem Steel. We got matching steel ingots from the day we met, and we keep them together, you know, like on top of one another. Ooh. Oh, I shouldn't extemporate. But JJ is totally an inspiration to me. His very kind introduction, and it's just amazing to follow in his big footsteps with this award. I'm rather flabbergasted to be in the company of Carroll Dunn and the 26 other recipients of this prestigious honor. What giants of the construction industry, what amazing accomplishments, and some of my dearest professional friends. I never met Carroll Dunn, but I was well aware of his work with the Construction Industry Cost Effectiveness Project. I was a young associate editor at ENR in 1980 when the former Corps of Engineers deputy chief became director of the Business Roundtable effort. ENR had high hopes for the promise of the project and wrote many stories about it. When I was preparing my remarks, I got a bunch of stories that was really fun to read through them. In one, Dunn said an important outcome was to find out what management can do to improve labor motivation. A first step is removing demotivators, one of which is rework, he explained. ENR expanded on that comment in an editorial called Haste, Waste, Demoralization. It said, the connection between reworking and demotivation as cause and effect is one that appeals in a seat-of-the-pants rationalizing about productivity. Haste can make waste, and hardly anyone can draw inspiration to perform at peak efficiency if what he builds or installs is often ripped out before being put to use. Of course, this stubborn problem is one that the industry continues to work on today. We even have a presentation tomorrow about achieving zero rework. But with the establishment of CII in 1983, the industry's research capabilities expanded in quantity and quality. The organization has had a profound impact on construction industry safety, planning, benchmarking, constructability, and true to Carroll Dunn's passion, productivity and cost effectiveness. I have really come to appreciate the power of CII's formula: bring together owners, contractors, engineers, and academics to identify and research the challenges of the industry. As a journalist, I love coming to CII meetings because there's always a story. Committees are working on industry challenges and reporting out their findings about best practices. And here is where Engineering News Record comes in. We have helped tell the story of CII from its earliest days to the present. We help teams get the word out to ENR's diverse audience of construction industry professionals. We help CII make a difference in the construction industry as a whole, not just to CII members. And that does matter to members as well, because the fortunes of all firms rise on a rising tide of industry excellence. That shimmering future is still hanging just out of reach. But I do see progress. Over my 30-plus years of construction watching, much has changed for the good. Safety statistics continue to improve. We aren't there yet, but how far we have come. The will is there. I see enormous commitment to it, and I do think we will find a way. Hats off to the organizers of Safety Week this past May, for example, and to the near-miss work that was reported out today. Technology and communications have made quantum leaps forward. Robotics and 3D printing are advancing. If we could send a message back to ourselves in 1980, we would think a description of a job site today, and generally much of life in 2014, to be science fiction. What would our younger selves think of ENR's tablet app, for example, where videos play right on the page? We might think of the moving pictures on the walls of Harry Potter's school, but we wouldn't have known about Harry Potter. The industry has also added many useful new ideas about how to finance and deliver projects. And then there are so many tools and best practices that CII has produced to lay out the path forward. ENR's mission is to help construction professionals do their jobs more effectively. In so many ways, CII's work helps us accomplish that mission. Before I close, I'd like to give a shout out to Jackie Thomas, who wrote my life story in the program books you have and gave JJ all that material. Thanks for the great work, Jackie. I want to thank the CII Awards Committee for selecting me. I'm amazed and honored for this recognition. And as JJ introduced you, I wanted to say something to my husband, Joe Rasta, who's here with me tonight. He's my steadfast soulmate. I couldn't do what I do without you, Joe. And last but not least, I want to thank you all for being here to celebrate with me tonight.